Where are you at in your skill set of AI marketing? We all know that this is going to be a big deal in the future, right? And whether you are on team optimist and you think AI is going to create way more jobs than it ever replaces, you're on team pessimist and you think AI is going to take out way more jobs than it creates. Either way, in both of those scenarios, you're going to have to master this new skill called AI in order to thrive in marketing in the future. So better to do it sooner rather than later, which is why I rolled up my sleeves a year ago in order to master this thing. And over a year ago, I wondered, like, where was I at? I had been dabbling, I'd been playing, I'd been using ChatGPT, and I was starting to build some custom GPTs. And I was like, what? Like, how do you assess your own skill set? Am I a beginner? Am I intermediate? Am I pro? Like, where am I at? And there was nothing out there to assess it. There was no skills. There's really no courses. Like, there really wasn't much. So I rolled up my sleeves, started this very podcast, and started interviewing everybody doing some cool stuff with AI and started documenting the cool stuff I was building along the way. And about halfway through, I developed an idea or a framework called the 5 types of AI marketing. Because anytime you're exploring a new land, you kind of need a chart, you need a map in order to make sense of the land, right? And it might not be perfect. You might not know all the roads and trees and little nooks and crannies of the land, but you can get an idea that, like, hey, there's a forest over here. We got some mountains over there, some wheat fields here. You know, if you played Settlers Catan, it's kind of like that, right? You want to know what's where in general. And that's why I worked really hard to develop the 5 types, because I tried to summarize, like, what are all the major places that this is going to play out in. Certainly it's going to affect every channel, but is that how we organize it? And I went through multiple ways of organizing this topic, and the 5 types was kind of where I settled. And I've recorded a whole episode on this, so I'll link back to that in the show notes. But essentially it is AI is a co-pilot, driving all your internal processes. There is AI as content creation, which is probably what most of us are using it for already, so no explanation there. AI for hyper-personalization, that's a new thing that we weren't able to do quite as well as we are with AI now. AI for conversation marketing, because conversation marketing sucked before AI, right? And then lastly, AI for analysis and forecasting is a big part of where AI is going to be helping us in the future. It's probably the one that's lacking the most right now. But those are the main 5 types. Almost all AI in marketing can fall under one of those 5 types. Of course, there's always exceptions and little nuances where it can fit both or whatever, but no framework is perfect. But this one is helping me figure out where the lay of the land is and helping me figure out, like, where am I falling short on? So I developed a scorecard or a quiz to give you a scorecard to help you assess where you're at with the 5 types. And in the questions, I hope to develop a guide that comes after this later. It'll kind of start prompting you or helping you see where you could be doing more across each type of AI marketing. So I wanted to record just this quick episode to kind of give some background and tell you about this quiz I developed. Of course, I wish I could give the quiz right here in the podcast, but I can't. I'm going to have to drop the link into the show notes and you can go over to it. Or if you're just listening and want to pull up your browser and go right there, it's danchez.com/quiz, and it'll take you straight to this quiz. Here, I'll even show you on my screen real quick. If you're checking this out via video, it's on my personal website. You can go, I made a whole blog post out of it that kind of gives some background and the structure, but right in there, embedded into it, is the quiz where you can essentially just select from 4 different answers, and it goes through the 4 different types. There's no trick questions here. They're pretty straightforward answers, but you just go through and click through the answers. There's 15 questions that rate you across all of the 5 types of AI marketing. And then at the end, it gives you a scorecard where you get an overall score and then a score across each type. And of course, there's a little call to action for the course, because I'm a marketer and you got to have some kind of call to action in there, right? But so go over to danchez.com/quiz. I wish it's something I had when I first started in order to assess my own skills and where I'm at. And it's helpful now because I'm even seeing where I'm falling short now and where I need to hone it up over this next year in order to excel in all 5 types. So go take the quiz and let me know what you think. I'm most active on LinkedIn.com, so find me at linkedin.com/in/digital marketing Dan, and we can have a conversation about it. I always love when you reach out and give me ideas or tell me what's worked for you.